Well, my name is Edilia Del Toro. Everybody knows me as D. I've always been called D since I was little. I'm 40 years old. I was born just literally on the line of the city of South Tucson and the city of Tucson. So I grew up in both places. More so South Tucson because that's where all my friends were. I've lived in the neighborhood all my life. I grew up there. The place where I live with my grandmother. She's 83, and so I help take care of her, me and my son and my husband. 3 years ago was when I started cooking, which was like, how do I say it? We were trying to figure out different ways to, I mean, working's fun. I like to work. I'm more of an office person. My husband's more of doing outdoor stuff. But it was getting a little too repetitive, and we wanted to figure out something we could do for ourselves, something that we had control of. And about 3 years ago, my sister and my husband had thought about food sales. And I was very apprehensive because I know they like my cooking, but I was apprehensive that other people would like my cooking. And it took a while. It took maybe about a year prior to that pushing me, like, just try it. Let's just try it. And I was like, okay, we'll try it. And I was nervous. The first day I did it, I was nervous. I'm like, what if they don't like it? What if it doesn't come out right? What if, all these what ifs. But we did it, and people liked it. So we continued to do it, and as we progressed, it was me, my sister, and my husband. And then we decided to teach my nieces and nephews. So it wasn't just me cooking, or it wasn't just my sister cooking. My husband's always been my setup. So he set up my tents, my tables, he did the layout for everything. And we decided to have my nieces and nephews come in. My oldest nephew, who is also my godson, I taught him how to make fry bread, or popovers. It's called a lot of different things, but it's always been popovers. I taught him how to make the dough. The recipe came from my grandmother, so it was passed on to me. I passed it on to him. Now he's a great dough maker, and he's also my fryer, my cook. My other nieces and nephews, I taught them different recipes, so each of them holds how to make the chili, how to make the beans, how to make and now I'm glad that I was able to pass that on to them. And now they're my helpers. They know how to do everything.
And it stays alive through the generations.
It does. And that was something I wanted to pass on because I got this from my grandmother. The chili's made a certain way, the beans are done a certain way, the fry bread's done a certain way, the ingredients and everything. Most of it's not written down. Most of it, there's no exact measurements for it. But, we all make it our own way. And they've learned to adapt it to the way they make it now, which is still the same. It still tastes the same.
But they have their own process.
Yes, they have their own process. So we've done Cyclovia for about 3 years, but prior to that, my first event was with Mission Gardens.
Oh.
So, again, that was anxiety and fear in itself because I'd never done an event before. So Mission Gardens was my first event, and I've actually been doing Mission Gardens for 3 years. I've done maybe about 6 or 7 different events for their Native American Arts and Crafts Fair. I've also catered to certain little things that they have off the side. But yeah, Mission Gardens was my first one. And then when I discovered Cyclovia was coming through the neighborhood because it passes literally right in front of my house. So we were debating a lot because we know that it's a lot of people. And we've never done an event with a lot of people. Mission Gardens is a good event. It does draw a lot of people, but the amount of people that's coming with Cyclovia, we were a little nervous.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, yes. And it turned out great. It was fun. I loved doing it. Then when I worked for Hasham Preparatory, when it went through the Rincon neighborhood, I had the kids helping me. So I was teaching them how to do stuff, how to do food sale, and they made their own tent, their own thing, and then I did mine, and that was fun because it was a learning opportunity for them too. But yeah, it's been a fun 3 years doing this. I've learned a lot. I'm not so scared anymore. I'm more confident and more comfortable doing it myself, doing it now with everybody. So,
Does it have a name?
I call it E&J.
Inje?
E&J.
E-N-J.
My name's Edilia. My husband's name is Joshua. And since they were the ones to push it, me and him decided to name it E&J. It's E&J Fry bread.
Nice. That's awesome. And then you keep talking about your home and how you were born right in the middle, right between, like on the line with South Tucson and Tucson.
Mm-hmm. Well, my family's home, well, like I said, my grandmother's 83, and she grew up there. So we're saying maybe about 100 years it's been there, or maybe over 100 years. That I've never had a chance to really discuss with my grandfather, who is the owner of the home. But it's been there for probably about a century now. It's across from Ochoa Elementary, which I went there, my nieces and nephews went there, my cousins went there, my uncles went there, my grandmother went there. And they just celebrated their centennial last year. So,
And your son goes there.
And now my son goes there.
Wow.
And
Do you have any fun stories from like when you were a little girl in that home?
we would bike ride the neighborhood. That's how I can navigate the neighborhood with my eyes closed. You can tell me a spot and I can tell you exactly where it's at. You don't have to name the streets. We used to bike ride and play, and like literally we ran up and down the neighborhood. In the summers we'd be balloon fights or water fights all over the place at different houses and different places in my house, and it was just a lot of great memories growing up there. And even with the school, we did so much stuff at the school. This whole place, this whole neighborhood's my home. Like I know when I'm coming into South Tucson and I see the giant tree that's growing in the middle of Ochoa, I'm like, I'm almost home. That's home. And the neighborhood's been my home. My home is just my peace. It's my, I can just
Your peace and your people.
breathe. Yes, my peace and my people. And growing up there, I've had a lot of traditions taught to me from my grandmother. I carry all her recipes and everything with me, and cooking for me, for my family, is a gift. And the fact that they like what I cook, they like what I've learned from my grandmother, that it gives me a lot of pride. It gives me a lot of, it's even hard to put into words what it gives me.
I think pride is a good word. Like emotional.
Yes.
Pride.
Like it's just like a piece in me.
You're carrying their legacy.
Yes.